Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lexus Virtual Classroom. My name is Melissa O'Connell, and I'm your Lexus Technology Specialist. And today we are exploring the 2023 Lexus RX. This deep dive tutorial for the RX will have two parts. You're watching part one. Part one is going to cover all of the exterior features, and then when we move to the interior of the vehicle, we'll cover all of the buttons and the features that they operate. We'll talk about how to set up your Lexus driver profile. We'll even cover all of the buttons, bells, and whistles on the two different steering wheel versions that are available for this vehicle, depending on whether or not you have a head-up display on your RX. Then, when you're ready, make sure to watch part two in order to explore everything about the new multimedia system Lexus interface. We'll go over Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and all the advanced driving support features like the 360 monitor and even advanced park. If you're new to the Lexus Virtual Classroom, make sure to check out the time-stamped index that's in the description below the video. You'll either see Show More if you're on a desktop, and if you're watching on mobile, look for the word More somewhere below the video title. That will open the video description and you can scroll through the images of the chapters. Click View All if you'd like to see the chapters in list view. You can also see the full time-stamped index in the mobile format by clicking on More from above, so that you can learn in any way that works best for you. So what's new about this Lexus RX? Absolutely everything. Let's check it out. Beginning in 2023, the RX 350 all-gas version uses a 2.4-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine. The RX 350 Hybrid uses a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine plus the Lexus Hybrid Drive System. And then we have the RX 500h F-Sport Performance model. It uses a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline four-cylinder engine and the Lexus Hybrid Drive System. And it also has the new Direct 4 all-wheel drive system on the vehicle, and an RX 450h Plus plug-in hybrid model will be joining the lineup soon. When you first get a vehicle with Lexus interface, it's a great idea to just go ahead and set up your Lexus driver profile. Then any customizations that are attached to your driver profile will be saved correctly to your settings. For the purposes of this tutorial, however, we're going to explore some of the features on the exterior of the vehicle, the rear cargo area, the second row passenger cabin, and then when we hop in the front of the vehicle, we'll set up the Lexus driver profile for this demonstration. If you'd like to jump around in the tutorial, make sure to use the time-stamped index in the description below the video. Let's take a look at some of the exterior features. There are two different layouts for parking sensors on the new RX. If you have the optional parking sensors, you'll see 4 sensors across the front and rear of the vehicle. The front sensors are integrated into the bumper and grille, and the rear sensors are integrated across the rear bumper. If you have additional parking sensors on the corners of the vehicle, that means you have advanced park on your Lexus RX. You'll have 4 additional sensors, giving you a total of 6 sensors across the front and 6 across the rear that supports the advanced park capabilities. The available intuitive park assist system includes a sensor under each side mirror, and these sensors help the parking assist system see at night. If your RX is equipped with headlamp washers, you'll see them just below each headlight assembly. For the headlamp washers to operate, the headlights need to be on, either manually turned on or turned on automatically when set to the auto mode. They're also linked to the operation of the front windshield washer spray. The headlamp washers will slide out and it will spray washer fluid onto the headlights. Pull and hold and you'll spray the front windshield and your headlamp washers will operate. They'll also operate with every 5th pull of the headlamp washer stop after they've initially operated. 4, 5. I prefer to use this feature when the car is in motion, so the washer fluid will just run off on its own. The fuel door is opened from the button inside the vehicle. Just press and it will pop open for you. Open it up and you'll have a great little storage for the cap. Just pop it back into place when you're finished. The Lexus RX uses hub bolts rather than lug nuts, and if you see one with a wave pattern, that means you have wheel locks on your RX. So you'll see the wheel lock on each wheel, and you'll have a wheel lock key located with the other tools in the rear cargo area near the spare tire. You might notice a slight difference in the front grille. If you see cutouts in this section, that means you have a vehicle that was assembled in Japan, and they use towing eyelets to secure the vehicle on the ship for transport. RXs manufactured in Canada will not have the emergency towing eyelets, so you won't see the pop-outs that cover the towing eyelet ports, and you also won't see a towing eyelet in the tool storage area. One is not any better than the other. I just want to make sure that you understand why some have the pop-outs for the towing eyelet ports and some do not. If your RX does not have emergency towing eyelet mounts, you'll just do emergency towing from underneath the vehicle. If you'd like to add running boards to your RX, make sure to purchase an RX with the prep package. This prep package has to be installed at the factory. It uses different side rails that come prepped and ready for running boards to be installed at your dealership. This is not something that can be added after the fact, so just make sure to know that before you select your vehicle. This is what a side rail looks like without the prep package, and this is what a side rail looks like with the prep package. So you'll see the pre-drilled holes, and the optional running boards are bolted on here. The new RX features a digital latch. The door handles are actually fixed in place, so they won't pull out when you open the door. All you have to do is have your smart key with you and put your hand in the door handle. You'll feel the sensor pad. Just use your natural motion to open the door. So you'll just squeeze the door handle and pull toward you. To exit the vehicle with digital latch, just press the door handle and then continue pressing to open the door. Nice and simple. You'll notice there is a manual override. You can pull 2 times toward you to open the door. Digital latch makes it possible to have a safety feature called Safe Exit Assist. Using the new digital latch and the blind spot monitor sensors, the new Safe Exit Assist helps to look for passing vehicles and bicyclists before allowing a door to open.
It was a very subtle beep, just a beep beep, and if you saw the indicator, it illuminated.
You may also hear a message that says, "Watch for traffic." There are different alerts depending on whether the vehicle is still on or if it's been turned off. Once you turn the car off, the system is active for 3 minutes. Taking a look at the buttons on the key fob, you can lock, unlock. To power open the rear door with the key fob, press and hold, or press and hold to sound the alarm. If you're using the alarm button to locate your vehicle in a parking lot, I highly recommend that you use the last parked location that's available in the Find feature in the Lexus app. Just click Find on the lower right-hand corner of your Lexus app. Last parked location is right at the top. When you press the lock button 1 time, it locks the vehicle. At night, if your headlights are set to auto, go ahead and press the lock button a 2nd time, and your headlights will turn off. To unlock the driver's door only from the key fob, just press the unlock button 1 time. If you would like to unlock the entire vehicle, press the unlock button a 2nd time, and all passenger doors and the rear door are unlocked. If you would like to remote start from the key fob, you'll use the lock button. Just press, press, press and hold. You'll see the indicator lights flash. And if you're in proximity with an all-gas RX, you'll hear the engine turn on. When you open the vehicle after a remote start, the new system on the RX remains on. You'll see the message on your display letting you know that you're not ready to drive. You need to press the brake pedal and push the start engine button to be ready for your drive. You can also remote start your vehicle with the Lexus app. In order to remote start your Lexus, make sure the vehicle is locked. Just open the app, sign in, and touch and hold the start icon for just a second. You'll see it begin to spin, and the command is sent to your vehicle. Lexus app commands require a cell signal not only to the phone, but to the vehicle. You'll see a drop-down notification on the phone confirming your remote start command is complete. You'll see a countdown clock letting you know that the vehicle will run for 10 minutes, but you can choose to stop that early if you'd like. And when you enter the vehicle, it will stay running, but you will need to apply the brake and push start in order to shift into drive. To lock and unlock the vehicle with the Smart Access system, just put your hand in the door handle and it will unlock the driver's door. With auto folding mirrors, they will open up for you. It can be customized to unlock the driver's door only or unlock all doors when you place your hand in the driver's door handle. Just touch the indentation at the front of the door handle to lock the entire vehicle. You'll notice your auto folding mirrors have folded in. Unlock the entire vehicle from any passenger door handle. And a third option is to place your hand in the driver's door handle and just hold it there for a few seconds. The driver's door will unlock, and then you'll hear some additional beeps, and the entire vehicle has been unlocked for you. There's a manual override for the unlocking feature. It might not look like it, but there is still a manual key cylinder under this cover on the back end of the driver's door handle. To remove the cover and access the emergency key cylinder, you're going to need to release 2 attachment points. Start with a credit card of some type. Make sure that the credit card will fit into the opening. Insert and tilt to the left. You'll hear the first snap. You'll be tempted to pull away. Don't do that. Then push to the left to slide the cover toward you, and then you can release it. So you'll see that there are attachment points that move in the opposite directions. Then you're able to access the emergency key cylinder. Look for the word push on the side of your key fob, remove the mechanical key, insert the key, and twist to the right. Also, when there's no power to the vehicle, you'll need to use the emergency door handle as opposed to the electronic digital latch. If you're using the manual key cylinder to lock the vehicle with the engine running, keep in mind you are going to get some alarms and alerts because it really doesn't want you to do that anymore. You're also going to get some audible alerts when you close the door and take your key fob with you. So now the engine is running. I've removed my key fob. I've removed the cover of the key cylinder and locked the door. The mirrors will not auto fold even if you have the feature turned on, and you have deactivated the Smart Access system. So trying to unlock with the Smart Access sensor in the door handle or even pushing the unlock button on the key fob is not going to work because you've overridden the system. You'll need to use the mechanical key to re-enter the vehicle. Turning to the right, you'll hear the latch release and you'll be back inside. Another thing that can happen when you're using the mechanical key, you can also override the Smart Access start on the vehicle. Twisting to the right to open, Entering the vehicle, you may see a message that says, press brake pedal and touch engine switch with key. If you see that message, it means you need to apply the brake and hold the key fob in front of the push button start. Then you'll reawaken the Smart Access system. Apply the brake, press the engine start button, and you're ready to go. When you're ready to put things back, you'll just go in reverse order. Put the back section in first, and then snap it into place at the front. Press and hold. You'll hear the alert, and the rear door will open. You can also press and hold to close. You also have some controls here. The large rubber touchpad will unlock and open, and the small rubber touchpad will lock the vehicle when the door is closed. Just press the large rubber touchpad on the left-hand side to power open. And after you've closed the door, you can press the small rubber touchpad to lock the vehicle. Of course, my favorite way to operate the power back door is with the optional kick sensor. This is a new version of the kick sensor. It's positioned a little bit more forward, and it has a tone letting you know when it's seeing your foot. It's just looking for the top of your foot to go forward and back right at the center of the bumper. When it beeps, just step back and the door will power open for you. You can kick to open and kick to close. If you hear a double beep, that means that you need to try again. Once you have the power back door open, you'll notice two buttons on the right-hand side. The first button will close the power back door. You can also use that same button to customize the height opening for the power back door. In fact, the first time that you open the power back door, make sure that you're not in your garage or an enclosed parking structure, because it does open pretty high if it's on the highest opening level. So let's go ahead and customize that feature. We're going to use the button on the left-hand side. Just push, stop it where you want it, then push and hold. We're listening for those 4 beeps. 4 beeps means that the new height opening has been memorized. So if I close the door and reopen it, it's going to come right back to this new lower height. But if that's not quite right, you can always reset it. You'll still use the left side button, push and hold, wait for the 4 beeps, keep waiting, 2 more. There we go, 6 beeps, it's totally reset. Press the button, press to stop, and then press again to open, and it's reset to the max height. So if you would like to use the walk away, close and lock feature, make sure you have your key on you. All of the doors need to be closed. The RX is turned off, and there's not another key in the vehicle. Press the button. You'll hear 2 beeps. That lets you know that you've pressed the button that's the close and lock feature. Do you hear those additional beeps? It's standby mode. I have 30 seconds to gather my belongings and walk away. Then you'll hear the longer tone, you'll see the door close, and if you have the auto folding mirror feature turned on, the side mirrors will fold in, and you'll know your vehicle is locked. Taking a look inside the rear cargo area. There is also an optional cargo net with a zip pouch. If you want to connect the cargo net, make sure to locate the hooks at the bottom. And it's always a good idea to get the hook as close to the D-ring anchor point as possible. So generally that's going to mean the closed portion of the zipper will be on the left. Attach the hook to the D-ring on both sides. Unzip the pouch, locate the top cable hooks, and just hook it at the top attachment. on both sides. And then you'll see your cargo net is ready to go. You'll notice a tab in the center. It's typically already attached. A fun little detail about this tab is that there is a hook at the top that you can attach to the back cable. Now you have two separate pouch pockets. That will just help you to contain all of your goodies in the cargo net. And it's just lightly in place, so all you have to do really is tilt forward and then it'll disconnect from that back cable. To take down and store the pouch, go ahead and remove the top cables from both sides. Then you'll want to roll the netting into the pouch. So roll it up and zip it up, and you're all set. If you're going to remove things from the lower cargo area, make sure to remove the pouch. The lower hooks are plastic and you don't want to damage them. So you'll just unhook from the D-rings on both sides. And then you can remove your cargo pouch. And there's a nice little storage cubby at the back. You can just cinnamon roll style that cargo net pouch right inside. It's a great little storage spot. You'll see a first aid kit, typically Velcroed up on one of the sides of the rear cargo area. On some models, you'll see an optional 120 volt outlet on the right-hand side in the rear cargo area. You'll notice two small hooks on each side. You'll see that it says maximum 4 kilograms. That's 8.8 pounds, so not a lot, but great for one little grocery bag. There are different button configurations depending on the type of package you have for the second row. One version shows the seats folding down. This is the setup that you'll see for the quick release for manually operated back seats. The other version will show buttons with seats folding down and up. This is what you'll see if you have a power-operated second row, where the seats can be folded down and up from the cargo area. You'll see a 12-volt accessory charger. There are 4 D-ring anchor points for cargo netting, 2 near the back seats and 2 near the door. When the D-rings are not in use, it's always a good idea to just fold them up so they're flat and out of the way. Taking a look at the cargo cover, you've got a handle just to pull the cargo cover right into place. You'll see the tabs, and they are at a little bit of an angle. They kind of drop in. Then this edge of the cargo cover kind of slopes down, and that's to help with privacy in the rear cargo area when you close the back door. To retract the tonneau cover, you don't have to pull toward you, just lift up and it'll align the tabs, and then you can let it slide back into place. See, this has a little bit of give. That's what holds the tonneau cover in place, but when you straighten it out, it allows the tabs to slide on the rest of the track. A lot of our previous tonneau covers, you needed to pull them toward you to release and then retract the shade. I'm bringing it toward me. It's going to flatten that little tab out, and then it tilts down and holds into place. All I have to do to retract the shade is lift up and let it slide back. Nice and easy. I do like to hold on to it just so it doesn't go zipping back too fast. Before you remove the tonneau cover shade, make sure that the tabs that slide it back and forth are no longer in the track. There's a small little raised section at the back of the track that keeps the whole thing from sliding out. But if you want to remove it, you're going to lift again, push forward, and now it's free of the track. So that means you just need to push gently toward the center of the vehicle. Now you can use the tension sliders that are on each side of the frame. Just pull toward the center of the vehicle, and then you'll notice that there's a slanted section of the mounting opening. You can gently take that down And then make sure to support the other side, because now it's going to just easily come right out for you. When you're ready to put it back, you'll just do the opposite. Put one section in, make sure to squeeze the tension rod to work it into the opening on each side. Rotate it flat, then slide the tabs that support the shade back into the track on both sides, and you're all set. Lifting up on the handle, you can open the lower rear cargo storage area. If you have a jack in the vehicle, it'll be located here. A deeper storage cubby on the right-hand side. Mounting bracket for the front license plates. The tools on the vehicle are located underneath on the right-hand side. Lift up, then you'll need to work the hook out of the catch. Just pull toward you. And you may need to lift to the left just a little bit. You can undo the cable, and now we want to hook it over the soft weather stripping seal material, so make sure that you're not hanging this on the soft section. You want to go over the soft section, and you'll feel a harder padded area. That can support the weight of the cargo decking and keep it up and out of the way so you can work hands-free. If you have a spare tire in the vehicle, make sure to note the maximum speed and amount of time recommended for your spare. Depending on where your RX was manufactured, you may or may not see an emergency towing eyelet. If you have a spare tire, you will have tools for changing the spare tire. You'll see the screwdriver, the bolt wrench. This is an additional tool that gives you a little bit more torque when you're tightening things like the towing eyelet. You'll see the mounting or the support pin and the hub bolt adapter. If you remove these items, make sure you know that they are a hard plastic. So you want to take good care of them, and when you're all finished using them, and snap them into place, which is easier said than done. If you have a wheel lock kit on your vehicle, you may also see the wheel lock key located here. When you're ready to put the cargo cover back in place, push up a little bit just so that you have some slack and you don't have any weight on the hook any longer. That's going to let you easily pick it up and lift it off so you don't damage that trim. Now we want to wrap from the top, catch at the bottom, cross over, slide and snap the hook into place. And you're all set. Now let's talk about second row seat operation. If you have a manually operated second row, you are able to quickly and easily fold down your back seats from the rear cargo area. You'll see buttons that look like they're power folding buttons. There is an electric component. You're going to hear a little actuator as it releases the catch, but it's not a full power folding second row. Just push left and the seat will fold down for you. And right side. You can also fold the seats simultaneously. With manually operated second row seats, you just have to come to the back seats and lift them up into place. You can even adjust the recline. Lift up on the lever until you feel the seat give a little bit, and then you can adjust as much as you'd like. The same thing on the other side. Lift up on the lever and press to recline. Keep in mind that the rear passenger area does have a substantial and very comfortable seat cushion. So these are not folding flat. There is a little bit of a rake or an incline because we want our rear cabin passengers to be as comfortable as our front cabin passengers. If you'd like to fold the seats from the second row, just use the handle to lift up and fold it down. With the power folding second row, you'll see buttons in the rear cargo area, one marked L for left and the other R for right. The top portion of the button will raise the seat and the bottom portion of the button will lower the seat. Just press the button until you hear 2 beeps and the seat will begin to fold for you. You'll hear 2 additional beeps and you know the process is complete. You can fold the left side seat or the right and center seat together. You can also operate the seats simultaneously. Just push both buttons. You'll hear 2 beeps when the process has started and 2 beeps when it is finished. You can fold the seats separately or together. Just listen for the beeps and your seats will start to fold for you. You'll also see buttons on the outside of the second row seats to power fold the seats. Toggle to the left to bring the seat to its most upright position, but they won't fold them down. Press the left button again to fold it down. To raise the seat, just toggle to the right. Just toggle to the right to recline. And if you'd like to bring it more forward, toggle to the left. So just push toward the front of the car to move it forward, toward the back of the car to move it back. Nice and easy. You can just push and release to adjust a little bit, or push and hold until you're in the full recline position. And you can do the same thing on the other side. Power folding second row seats can also be operated from the Vehicle Features menu on the main screen at the front of the RX. We'll go over those things in part 2 of our deep dive tutorial. If you have a center passenger, make sure to locate both sections of the seatbelt, the belt with the clip and the center seatbelt attachment point. It's actually underneath an elastic strap that holds it flat and in place. Make sure to slide the center seatbelt attachment out from under the elastic strap that holds it into place. Then you'll be able to use the center seatbelt. Notice that if you try to attach the center seatbelt to another seat, it's not going to catch. Looking at the back of the center section, you'll see a handle that will allow you to release that section and create a pass-through. If you're tall enough, you can reach through the rear cargo area and fold the center section down, or you can do what I do and operate it from the second row. Just lift up on the handle and then you can fold that section flat. To put it back into place, just lift up. This center section is going to connect to the rear passenger seat. There's an opening in the carpet here. You're going to push this into place until it clicks and attaches to this mounting bracket. All set. Both outboard rear seats have latch for the lower anchors for child safety seats. All 3 second row seats on the RX have top tethers for child safety seats. The cover is attached at the bottom. When you snap it open, you'll see the tether anchor point. Make sure to follow the installation instructions for your child safety seat. If you're not using the top tethers, make sure to close the tab so that it's stowed up flat and out of the way. Child safety locks on the rear doors. If you're going to lock it into place, you need to press the tab down. When the child lock is in the down position, that means that rear cabin passengers are not able to open the door. You'll need to open the door from outside. Just toggle up if you don't want to use the rear child door locks. If you have the optional rear passenger window sunshades on your RX, you'll see a tab at each back window. Just lift up on the tab and then you can pull your window shades into place. You'll want to come up and over the hooks. When you're ready to put the sunshade back, just lift from the tab. You're going to lift up rather than try to push straight out. Just to get over the edge of that hook, you're going to lift up and over those hooks. Then you can lower the shade all the way back down and it'll nest nice and neatly. Rear cabin passengers are able to lock and unlock the vehicle and operate their own window. unless the passenger window operation has been locked out by the driver with the front controls. Take a look at the lower area of the pocket, locate the tab, and remove the liner. It has that deeper section to fill that recessed area where a bottle can go. Pretty handy. To open up the rear center armrest, just use the strap handle and pull down. You'll see a button to open the cup holders, and just squeeze here to open the small storage area. Backseat headrests for both outboard seats have a small release point on the right side post. If the headrests are all the way down, just press up and you'll hear some clicks as they move into a higher position. There are only a couple of different height adjustments. 1, 2, press to remove. High, go ahead and push in that catch. Then you can come down to the lowest position or, again, all the way flush. The center rear headrest works in a similar way. Just lift up to raise it into place. There are 2 height settings for the center rear headrest. All the way down and all the way up. Once you've raised the headrest, notice that there's a button on each of the posts for the center rear headrest. If you press the button on the right, you can lower the headrest. However, the button on the left doesn't do that. The button on the left is used simultaneously with the button on the right, so it takes 2 hands. Press, and then you can remove the center headrest should you need to do so. When it's time to put the center headrest back in, just align the posts and gently start to press down. Once it catches at the upward position, just press on the button on the right side post and you'll be able to push it down. Rear passenger dome lights, touch to turn it on and touch again to turn it off. There aren't sensors in the housing around the light fixture, so make sure to touch right on that light cover to turn it on or off. Rear dome lights will also turn on automatically when the front dome lights are in door mode and a door is opened on the vehicle. There are different setups for the rear cabin climate depending on the package on your vehicle. Either way, you'll have vents that can be adjusted up or down, left or right. You can close or open the rear vents, and you can adjust the temperature for the rear cabin passengers. If you press buttons and you don't see anything operate, that means the climate control system is turned off at the front of the vehicle, and the driver or front passenger would need to turn it on. Once the system is turned on, then you can adjust cooler or warmer right at the back. Some models have outboard heated and ventilated seats, and the controls are here for the left and right side passengers. There are 3 levels of heat and 3 levels of fan. Notice that there's not actually a fan speed control in the rear of the vehicle. There is one main control for fan speed, and that's all operated at the front of the vehicle from the main climate controls. And you have 2 USB-C ports for charging. We are ready to move into the front cabin of your new RX. And the first thing that we're going to do is set up your Lexus driver profile. Having your driver profile connected gives you a much more customized experience in your Lexus with the new Lexus interface system. It's going to save and show your radio favorites, adjust the seat, side mirrors, and steering wheel for your driver position. It'll even turn on the connection for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, depending on your phone. So let's go ahead and set up our Lexus driver profile. Open your Lexus app and select Keep Me Signed In. Then click Sign In if you already have a Lexus app or Lexus driver account. If not, you'll select Register. When you register, choose continue to registration, and then follow the steps for full app registration, rather than signing in with a social media platform. Since I already have a Lexus account, even if it's from a previous vehicle with our previous connected system, I'm going to come back and choose Sign In. Enter your email or mobile number, and then enter your account password. You might be prompted to enter an authorization code. If you've entered your email address, the authorization code will come to that email inbox. If you've entered your mobile number, it will come via text to your mobile number. When you get to this screen asking you to add a vehicle, we'll pause on our Lexus app screen and then make some selections on our main display on the vehicle. Choose your language, and then if you already have the Lexus app on the phone, you can bypass this step by leaving it blank and clicking send. If you enter your phone number, it's not a problem at all. It's just going to send you a text inviting you to download the Lexus app. When you see the QR code on screen, select Add Vehicle and scan QR code. If your phone asks for permission to use the camera, go ahead and give permission, and then just follow the prompts on your phone and on the vehicle screen. We'll click Save Changes. Once we see the vehicle information on our phone, the car is actually already ready for us to move to the next step, but we haven't completed the app setup yet on our phone, so we'll just wait until we're finished. Click Continue, and then you'll be able to accept the terms for all of the trials available on your new Lexus. Just choose to accept. If you're not sure you want to subscribe to the Wi-Fi hotspot, select Maybe Later, Confirm, and then Accept, Confirm, and Continue. We will have some additional prompts on the vehicle screen because we are going to set up our phone for Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So let's click Finish Setup on the phone screen and Yes on the vehicle screen. Now our app is loaded and ready. Let's finish setting up Bluetooth. Come to Settings, Bluetooth, choose Lexus RX when you see it pop up on your phone screen. Now we're going to click Pair on the phone, OK on the vehicle, Allow on the phone for contacts and call history, use CarPlay on the phone, set as primary device if this phone is your primary phone, and yes to enable Apple CarPlay. So we're giving permission on the phone and on the vehicle to make sure that everything is connected and ready to go. We have one more Apple CarPlay permission to allow the mirroring of our apps and content onto the vehicle screen. If you aren't automatically prompted for the next step for Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay connection, not to worry. Just click on the gear to open settings, come to Bluetooth and Devices, and click Search for Devices. Before we move on to any additional features, I want to make sure that you know how to exit Apple CarPlay and finish setting up your driver profile. You'll click right on Lexus, select Personal Info, and then we'll choose Link Key. Make sure that you have your selected key with you in the vehicle and that all other keys are outside of the vehicle. You'll just touch the toggle for Link Key. It's going to beep and then turn blue. That lets you know that your profile is now linked to this particular key. So you're going to want to bring this key with you and make sure that you note that part of your smart access system is to do all of these things when it unlocks the vehicle. So it helps to see your key, recognize and load your profile at key detection. So that does mean it is a best practice to always lock your Lexus when you've parked your vehicle, even in your garage. When you're setting up your driver profile on your Lexus RX, when you come to Personal Info, you want to not only link your key, but if your RX has the driver attention monitor, You'll want to set up Face ID for even quicker profile recognition. The driver's attention monitor sits at the top of the steering column, facing the driver and checking to see that the driver is paying attention. From settings, opening personal info. So when I'm ready, I'm going to press Set Up Face, accept the terms, and then I'll click Begin and then look straight ahead. It's that simple. You'll hear a few tones and you'll have a drop-down message saying success, that your Face ID's been set up. If you need to remove a Face ID from a profile, just come to Settings, Personal Info, and it sounds kind of weird, but it says Remove Face. Fortunately, we're just removing the Face ID from the system. Just click Remove to confirm. Then you can set up a new Face ID when you're ready. Now we've completed our profile setup. Let's set up our driver position memory. First, you'll adjust your seat. You can bring it forward or back, raise the hip point up or down, and bring the front part of the cushion up or down. Then you can adjust the seat back cushion, reclining back or bringing it forward. And if you have the thigh support or the seat cushion extender, like you see here, you can make that adjustment as well. Then you'll adjust your steering wheel. Use the toggle to bring it away or toward you. Bring it up or down until you have your most comfortable driving position. Then it'll be time to adjust your side mirrors. You'll choose L for left and R for right, and then use the touchpad to make your changes. And if your RX has a head-up display, make sure to adjust that position because it will also be saved to your driver position memory. With the touch-sensitive arrows on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you can raise or lower the HUD position and save that to your driver position memory. Just touch the lower button on the right-hand side. It looks like 2 pages or 2 boxes. That's because there are 2 different views on the right side display. We want to press the button until we see DISP with an arrow to the left and DISP with an arrow to the right, because you will see an I for information on the icon that's typically used for a windshield, a front windshield, and you'll see that with an up or down arrow. All you have to do is slide up to these arrows, and then you'll notice that as you move around on the touchpad, you can highlight the up arrow to raise the HUD or the down arrow to lower the HUD. But if you go into the settings on your main display, you'll be able to make additional adjustments. To get to HUD driving position adjustment, click on Settings, Vehicle Customize, Head-Up Display. And then you can raise, lower, or even tilt or rotate the HUD driving position. You can also adjust the brightness if you prefer. Raise, lower, and tilt to the right or to the left. So it's just a slight rotation clockwise or counterclockwise, just so that it looks level and even based on your seated position. We will go into all of these settings in detail, so don't panic, but we're going to leave this screen right now. Let's save your driver position memory. Before saving your driver position memory, make sure to confirm that you see your driver profile under the current driver listing on the left-hand side of the main settings screen, because the driver position memory buttons are attached to your driver profile. Once you have your seat, steering wheel, side mirrors, and the head-up display, if you have a head-up display on your RX, all in the position that you prefer, go ahead and push Set, let it go, and push your preferred driver position memory button. You should hear a beep, And then that position will not only be saved to the system, but attached to your driver profile on this vehicle. As you drive the vehicle more and you get more comfortable in it, you might make some changes to your driving position. Not to worry, all you have to do is make sure your profile is active, press set, and then your number, and those changes will be saved as your new driving position. If someone else has driven your vehicle or you've made an adjustment to your seat and you don't want to save it, just recall the last saved driving position by pressing your driver position memory button. It will beep and your seat will adjust for you. Press your odometer and trip meter button to toggle you through trip A, trip B. Press again, and when you see the wrench, that's letting you know how many miles are left to your next oil change. Press one more time and you're back to your odometer. Just press and release to toggle you through the different screens. If you're on trip A or trip B, push and hold the button to zero out that trip before your drive. You can increase and decrease the brightness of the lights for your gauge cluster. So the up or down arrows that are on either side of the tiny picture of a gauge with a light bulb. It's actually not clickable. It's letting you know that the arrows around it adjust the brightness of the lights on your instrument panel. Press the up arrow to increase and the down arrow to decrease. Below, we have our driver position memory buttons that we've already saved. And come down to operate the fuel door, just push and release the button. One press, and you'll hear it pop open for you. To operate the power back door from inside the vehicle, you'll push and hold the power back door button. If you press and hold the button to open the power back door and the door does not open, check the multi-information display. You might have a message letting you know that you need to unlock the doors to open the power back door. Unlock the doors and then operate the power back door. Push and hold. You'll hear a beep. You'll see the indicator on the multi-information display and the power back door will open. And you can press and hold again to close. Coming down below to a small storage cubby, and coming down again, you'll see the manual release for the hood. Let's come over and take a look at the buttons in the driver's door handle. To operate our power folding side mirrors, you can press the top left button to fold the mirrors in or out. When you do that, you disable the auto operation. A neat tip is if you've pressed the button to power fold, go ahead and press the auto button to open your mirrors back out and place the feature back into the auto mode. When you press the button that says auto and you have a small green light near the word auto, that means your mirrors are going to fold in automatically when you turn off and lock the vehicle. It's just a great extra indication that your vehicle is locked. Another neat detail about this selection, if you have either left or right selected, your mirrors will tilt in reverse. That's also customizable. To program the tilt and reverse feature, apply the foot brake, put the RX in reverse, select L for left, and then make the adjustment. Where would you like the mirrors to be when you're reversing? It will just completely depend on your parking situation. Then you'll do the same on the right-hand side. Once you've made the adjustments for your mirror position, you'll put the vehicle back into park. You'll see the mirrors shift back to your saved driving position. And then when you put the vehicle in reverse, they'll tilt back down to your tilt and reverse saved position. But if you don't want the mirrors to tilt and reverse, just turn off the feature by deselecting so that you don't have a light on either L or R. Then your mirrors will not tilt when you put the vehicle in reverse. Unlock, lock, Notice that with the digital latch, we don't actually hear the sound of the doors locking and unlocking, but you will see a small green light by the lock button, on for locked, off for unlocked. Window operation and the window lockout for passengers. So if you don't want passengers operating the window, make sure that you see the small green light by the window lock button. And taking a quick look at a neat adjustment for the shoulder point for the seat belts for the driver and front passenger. It's not part of the driver position memory, but it's very simple to adjust. Just squeeze and click. So just position it until you have it where you like it. You can bring it all the way to the bottom, which is what we see here. So if you're taller, you might prefer to have the shoulder position all the way at the top. And if you want to bring it all the way down, just squeeze and continue to hold. Also, if you take a look down where the bottle holder is, so you'll see this in the pocket of the front doors. There's a little tab on the insert so you can remove the insert, which is great for cleaning. And when you remove the insert, you'll see the indentation that allows the bottle to sit down in that lower section. You'll see there is a little raised section at the top of the insert. It's not recessed. If you turn the insert over, there is a piece that nests down into that bottle holder, and it does make the insert a little more flat. There's a little slant to it, but a bottle is not going to nest down into the bottle holder unless you remove the insert. Then you can just slide that back into place if you've taken it out to clean. Keep in mind this is for bottles. This is not for open cups. You'll want to make sure you have a lid. Now let's take a look at our headlamp operation. Your headlamp stalk is located on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Most people prefer to leave the headlights in the automatic mode. Your dial at the end has a little dash mark letting you know what selection you've made. Right now, it's in auto. But if we twist down to the bottom where it says DRL off, that means daytime running lights are off. Actually, everything is off. Twist up for auto, up again, and you'll just have your daytime running lights on. And at the very top, you have a manual selection for your headlights to be on. This is just your low beam headlights. Coming back to auto, but when our low beam headlights turn on either manually or automatically, we'll see that small green light bulb icon on the right hand side of the display. And we can also turn on our automatic high beams. You do that by pressing a button on the end of the headlamp control stalk. You'll see a small green light turn on over the icon that indicates automatic high beams. And when the high beams come on automatically, you'll see this symbol on the dash. If you push the button to turn off your automatic high beams, you can still operate them manually. Push forward to turn the high beam on and pull back to turn them off. Pull toward you and release, and it will give one flash of your high beams. And when the high beams come on, you'll see the blue high beam icon on the dash. Right in the middle, you have a toggle for fog lights. Fog lights are toggled either on or off, and they will come on when low beam headlights are on. If the high beams have automatically engaged, your fog lights will turn off so that the high beams can operate more effectively. Even if you have everything selected for auto, if you don't see the icons for your light operation, it just means the headlights are currently not on, but they will turn on automatically as long as you have the auto mode selected. And coming over to the right-hand side for windshield wiper operation. You'll notice your first set of instructions is on the inside of the stalk, and it's all about the position of the stalk. At the top is missed. That means just push up one time and you'll get one swipe on the windshield. Just if you have a little mist, then it comes down to the off position. To bring the windshield wipers into auto or intermittent mode, depending on the wipers that you have on your Lexus, you will come down one click. Automatic or rain sensing windshield wipers. So we see the word auto. So we are in the auto mode, and now we can control the sensitivity with the auto setting dial. Now, if you have intermittent wipers, you'll see INT, and then this will control the speed for intermittent wipers. You do not have to try to line up this little toggle with the word auto. So we're going to put them in auto mode and then just choose. Do we want them to be the most sensitive or increments in between down to the least sensitive? So I prefer more sensitive or all the way at the top because I like my wipers to come on sooner rather than later. Now, if you want to take over control of your wipers, come out of auto or intermittent, come to down one for steady low, and down all the way at the bottom for steady high. So now we're in the high mode, low, auto, off, one swipe for mist, and back to off. Taking a look at the control for the rear wiper, we have off, intermittent, and steady on. So there's not an auto control for the rear wiper. Pull toward you, and you'll clean the front windshield. Pull and hold, and you'll spray the front windshield, and your headlamp washers will operate if you have the optional headlamp washers included with the package on your vehicle. Push away and hold, and you'll clean the rear window and rear backup camera. Just push the windshield wiper stalk away toward the front of the car, and you'll not only clean the back window, but you'll also spray and clean your rear camera lens. If you'd like to use the paddle shifters, just shift left and down for drive, then pull straight down. You'll see the light come on for manual mode, and then you can use the paddle shifters, upshifting on the right and downshifting on the left. The driver monitor is an optional feature above the top of the steering column on your Lexus RX that works in conjunction with not only safety but convenience features as just an additional support system. It can also be used when you set up Face ID for profile detection. So if the driver's attention monitor thinks that you are not paying attention and it needs to know that you are paying attention, it's going to give you a pop-up letting you know that you need to pay attention, meaning look forward. There are a variety of messages that can pop up, including a message that suggests that you sit up in a more upright, safe driving position. To turn off the driver attention monitor alert, come to Settings, scroll to Driving Assist, Driver Support, and scroll all the way to the bottom, Driver Monitor Alert. And then you can toggle that off if you don't want to hear the audible alert or see the visual alert about inattention showing on the multi-information display. For vehicles with a head-up display, you'll notice that you have touch-sensitive buttons on both sides of the steering wheel. Keeping your hands at 3 and 9, you can very easily move your thumb over to the controls. All you have to do is touch without pressing and then highlight the item that you would like and then press. So you're going to be operating the information that you see on the head-up display with the arrow pads and the menu or change button that you see on both sides. There are two different menu options on the right-hand side and two different menus on the left. On the right-hand side, when you touch the controls for the head-up display, you'll typically default to the cruise control screen. If you press the menu or change button, you'll see the display menu controls. The left-hand side default view is for voice command and phone operation. If you press the menu or change button on the left-hand side controls, that will take you to the audio control menu. If you've pressed the menu or change button on the left or right side screen, and you've gone to the additional menu, so not the default menu. When you come back within a relatively short period of time, you'll be on the screen that you changed to. If you don't see the screen that you're looking for, just press the menu or change button and you'll toggle. And on the right hand side, you'll toggle between cruise control and display controls. On the left hand side, you'll toggle between phone and voice command and audio. Let's start with the left hand side of the steering wheel. From this screen, you can move through your radio favorites. Just press either the left or right arrows to change from one favorite to the next. You can change radio modes with the mode button, going through all available audio sources just by clicking mode. Just press and hold the mode button. You can pause or mute certain audio content wherever possible and press and hold to play. You'll see that audio has been muted on your head-up display, and you'll also see a drop-down on the right-hand side of your main screen. You can turn your audio system off or on, and come down to the menu or change button. Once you've highlighted, press the button to open that screen. And now you'll see we have a phone icon at the top and a voice command icon below. When you have an incoming call, that phone icon will light up. You'll just touch the up arrow and then press the up arrow to answer your call. You have additional audio controls, again with the left and right facing arrow, that will move you through those radio favorites. And coming down to the voice command icon, you have two assistants on the vehicle, your Lexus assistant and your phone's assistant. Push and release to use your Lexus assistant. How's the weather today?
Here is the weather for spring, Texas.
And you'll see a microphone icon on screen. Push and hold to cancel. Push and hold for your phone's voice assistant. How's the weather today?
Expect partly cloudy skies today.
You'll notice the buttons with a speaker icon and a plus or minus to increase or decrease the volume for your audio and phone calls. Now let's take a look at the buttons on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. We have our change or menu button at the bottom. Just press and release to change from our driving assist menu or our display menu. This is where you can slide your thumb up to the up arrow or down arrow to raise or lower your head-up display. And this is where you can customize the screen that shows on your multi-information display. Items in the multi-information display information menu will vary by model and package. Just use the left or right arrows on the right-hand side of the screen when you're on the display menu to bring you through your available screen options. Fuel economy information, total average fuel economy, average speed and elapsed time, so how long the vehicle has been on, and the average speed, the eco indicator. This will light up in a fuel efficient range as you drive, letting you know if you're driving in a fuel efficient way. If you're working on improving fuel economy, this might be a great screen for you to be on. There's also another small green eco indicator that will pop up as you drive. Just in case you're not on the eco indicator screen, it gives you some nice feedback letting you know that you're driving in a fuel efficient way. Arrowing to the right for our audio summary screen. As you're scrolling through the screen options for the multi-information display, keep in mind that your next screen could be different. If you select a different mode for the HUD operation, you'll change not only what appears in the head-up display, but the screens that you see in the multi-information display. To make these changes, we're going to be using the arrow buttons on the right-hand side of the steering wheel and the shortcut menu on the main display to customize your head-up display mode. Click on the Menu tab that looks like an ice cube tray. That's going to open your shortcut screen. Then swipe to get to the head-up display selections. There are 3 different HUD view options: minimal, standard, and full. Let's take a look at the full view first and how that shows not only in the head-up display, but the multi-information display. With the HUD in full mode, you'll see the gear position, the digital speedometer, and above that, you'll see your driving support screen with details about cruise control, following distance, lane trace assist, things like that. You'll also have a compass on the right-hand side of the head-up display screen. If we take a look at the multi-information display, when you have the HUD in full mode, you'll move from the audio screen straight to the boost gauge if your vehicle has a turbocharged engine. So click on the ice cube tray and open the shortcut menu again. This time choose Standard View. If we change from full mode to standard mode, the compass is removed from the head-up display. We see more condensed driving support information moved over to the right. And if we take a look at our multi-information display, we'll move from audio to a compass for navigation and a large driving support screen on the multi-information display. One more time, back to the shortcut menu, scroll to HUD options and choose Minimal View. We'll have the least amount of content in the head-up display. Notice that even the words and visuals describing the changes that you're making on the multi-information display have also been hidden. But the multi-information display will retain the compass for navigation information and your driving assist or driving support screen. To the right for our boost gauge, this is a turbo monitor on our turbocharged Lexus vehicles. To the right again for the G-force monitor, arrowing to the right for gear position, and to the right again for a blank screen if that's your preference. Arrow to the right one more time and we loop around to our driving support screen. I love this screen because it's really helpful with our other menus. And come down to the Menu or Change button. Once you've highlighted, press the button to open that screen. Our driving support or driving assist menu items. So in previous systems, we had to turn on cruise control and then set cruise control. Now it's ready and waiting. Something to keep in mind, however, is that if you press the button and you are not in drive and you don't have your seatbelt on, this is what you'll see. Cruise control unavailable. Shift to drive. Go ahead, put on your seatbelt, apply your brake, shift into drive, and for now, just keep your foot on the brake and touch and press the button to turn on adaptive cruise control. Notice that once you have cruise control on, you have a lot of other icons that become available because you have additional controls. You can resume if you have pressed cancel or tapped on the brake. Once you're driving with cruise control set, where it says resume, you'll see a plus sign. So you can actually increase or decrease your speed with the buttons on the steering wheel. Your following distance can be changed. You'll see 4 bars, clicking to come down to 3, 2, or 1. Keep in mind that you are setting a buffer zone between you and the vehicle in front of you. So I recommend practicing with this first on the longest range, or maybe come down. Just know that this is not about car length, so you'll need to get familiar with what this feels like when the vehicle starts to slow down for you before you bring your following distance to the closest range. Totally up to you. Another thing I really like about this new system is when you've customized the following distance, when you turn off the vehicle, this doesn't reset to the longest range anymore. It remembers your customization. And your cruise control icon. When you see the icon with a vehicle and an arrow, that means you're setting not only speed, indicated by the arrow, but a following distance, which is the buffer zone between you and the vehicle in front of you. When the icon is white, that means it's in standby mode. When you activate your cruise control, you'll see that icon turn green. And if you're not going at least 19 miles an hour, you'll see waiting. Coming back to our cruise control operation button, if we press that to turn adaptive cruise off, notice that we have a cruise mode button available now. Highlight and press that, and you can change from adaptive cruise mode to traditional or constant speed cruise control. That means you don't have a following distance, right? So we see all those other controls go away. And it won't let us set it unless we're driving and going over 19 miles per hour. If you've changed your cruise mode from adaptive cruise to traditional cruise or speed-only cruise, you'll see the cruise control icon change to an icon with an arrow only because you're not using the radar for following distance. To set the speed for your traditional cruise, once you go over 19 miles per hour, just click your set or power button to turn it on. You'll see the icon turn green, and it does tell you the distance control has been turned off because right now we are in speed-only cruise. It's also important to note that your display menu and controls are not available when cruise control is turned on. Once you turn cruise control on, your cruise control menu is going to remain active for your touch-sensitive controls on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. If you press the menu or change button, the More button, you'll get the message that the driving assist system is active and More is unavailable. That just means that if you would like to change your head-up display position, raise or lower, or change what item you have showing in your multi-information display, you need to have cruise control turned off. Now let's come over to our lane trace assist monitor. Highlight and press to turn that on, and we'll see our lane monitoring system with information on our multi-information display and our head-up display. When the feature is on, you'll see the Lane Trace Assist icon in the grouping of driving support icons on your dash. Off or on, there are two icons now for lane monitoring. Lane Trace Assist with straight lane marker lines and Lane Departure Alert that uses the icon from our previous version where it looks like a vehicle is deviating from the lane. We'll take a look at how to turn Lane Departure Alert off and on when we move over to the settings on our main screen. Let's take a look at the steering wheel for an RX without the head-up display. Let's start out with the controls on the left side of the steering wheel. The arrow pad, OK, and Go Back buttons all run the multi-information display that you'll see either in the center of your dash or on the left-hand side, like you see here. Let's take a look at how that works. Everything that we are doing is going to be either a left, right, up, or down maneuver, because our menu is just a big loop of information. So let's check out the information section of our multi-information display. You'll see a lowercase I in a circle at the top, and you'll notice that it's highlighted. If I press the up or down arrow, I'll see a slide bar appear. That just lets you know there are a lot of screens within this menu, and you can just click up or down to choose the one that you would like to see. This screen, of course, is about fuel economy. The second screen has the average speed calculation and the elapsed time. How long has the vehicle been running for this particular key cycle? Arrowing down again, and we have our range, our distance to empty. This is a very popular screen. And our trip average miles per gallon. Some of this information will be a little bit different on our hybrid models. Keep that in mind. Arrowing down again, and we have an eco indicator. This lights up in that eco range when you're driving in a fuel-efficient way. Arrowing down again for our turbo monitor. Down again, and we have a G-force monitor. arrowing down for gear position, and arrowing down one last time to a blank screen, if this is your preference. Now, you don't have to arrow up. Don't worry about that. So when you've come to the bottom of a menu, just click down again, and you'll loop right around to the top. Nice and simple. Let's arrow to the right, and we will come to our compass. Arrow to the right again, and we have a music summary screen. When your audio system is on, you'll see information about the content that's playing, and we have a message that says push OK for source. So if we press the OK button, then we're able to use the up or down arrows to scroll us through all of our available music sources. When you have the source you'd like, just press OK to open it. Then you'll see your presets list. You can then just cruise through all of your presets with the up and down arrows. You'll press OK to select, or you can press the go back button if you just prefer to clear that screen. Notice that the multi-information display still refers to radio favorites as presets, so don't be confused by that. And no matter what source you're on, your presets or favorites will remain the same because those are the favorite stations that you have already saved. And you can select a source or select go back to clear that screen. Let's click our right-facing arrow and we come to our driving support screen. Right now, we see that our adaptive cruise control mode is active and our cruise control is ready and waiting. It's in standby mode. Your cruise control is operated on the right side of the steering wheel, so we'll get more information on that in just a moment. Arrow to the right again for messages. This is where service-related messages would appear, low fuel messages, things like that. Arrowing to the right, and we loop around to the beginning of our multi-information display menu. If you're familiar with the setup on our previous model, you may notice that we no longer have a settings menu in the multi-information display. That's because all of the settings for the RX have been moved into the settings menu on your main screen. We'll take a look at that when we get to the settings menu of our Lexus interface system. Also on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your telephone shortcut button. When you press the telephone button, it's going to turn on your telephone feature or a shortcut to your telephone feature on your main display. To answer a phone call, you can just press the telephone button to answer. You can also press the telephone button to end a call. But if you'd like to decline a call and send it to voicemail, make sure to arrow down and then press OK when the highlighter is on the word decline. You can increase or decrease the volume for phone calls and audio, and you have an easily accessed voice command button. If you're using the Lexus Assistant, push and release to wake up Lexus, push and hold to cancel. Your phone's voice assistant is the opposite. Push and hold to wake up, and push and release to cancel. Coming over to the right-hand side of the steering wheel, we have driving assist or driving support features in the top portion of the controls and audio buttons below. Cruise control on vehicles without the head-up display operates in the exact same way. It's just that you have button controls right on the steering wheel, rather than in the view from the head-up display. And all the same rules apply. You must have on your seatbelt, and of course the vehicle needs to be in drive. The new cruise control system is always ready and waiting. Basically, it's in standby mode. When you're driving and up to the speed that you would like to cruise, you're going to push to activate. Just press and you'll see the cruise symbol turn green. The symbol for adaptive cruise looks like a gauge with a vehicle and an arrow because we're setting speed, which is represented by the arrow, and following distance, which is represented by the car image. If you would like to increase or decrease, just use the plus or minus buttons. Then you can set your following distance. You'll just use the following distance button. There are 4 levels. Just press the button to toggle through to choose the level that you prefer. Notice that right now we have a smaller display on the bottom of our multi-information display. If you'd like to have a larger display, just arrow over to your driving support screen. You can apply the brake or use the cancel button. When you've canceled, you can then use the plus or resume to turn cruise back on, or you can activate with your main cruise control button. If you would like to change from adaptive cruise with following distance to speed only, you just need to put the system in the standby mode, kind of like we used to turn it off to do this, but you don't have to turn it completely off anymore. So you would just click cancel or apply the brake, then press the mode button. This is our current mode, adaptive cruise, so we'll press again and we'll see cruise control mode. This is our constant speed or speed only cruise control, where you're just setting speed and you're not setting a following distance. The constant speed cruise control, same thing applies. Just get up to the speed that you would like to travel and then press your main cruise control button to set. If you try to set it when you're at a stop, like I am now, you'll see this message. It tells you it's unavailable, see the owner's manual. But you don't have to do that because now you know the tip. All you have to do is be driving at the speed that you would like to cruise and then press your cruise control button. With speed only cruise, the icon will remain white in that standby mode view until you are driving and set this speed, and then it will also turn green. Turning off or on your lane trace assist feature. So you'll see on your multi-information display a new icon appear when I turn that on. That's letting me know that lane trace assist is ready to go. You do have to have cruise control on and set to use the tracing component for lane trace assist. So when cruise control is off, lane trace assist would be ready, but it won't engage until you're actively using cruise control. What will be on is your lane departure alert system. So you'll see that icon on screen as well. If you turn lane departure alert off, you'll do that on your main display. And then coming down to audio controls. The mode button will change you through your audio sources. You'll toggle through all audio sources each time you push and release the mode button. You'll see your source change on your multi-information display, and you'll have a drop-down message on the right-hand side of your main screen. If you push and hold mode, it's going to mute or pause your audio wherever possible. You can also use the lower arrows on the right-hand side of the steering wheel to move you through your radio favorites. And coming up, there are two versions of the rear view mirror, the standard optical rear view mirror and the available digital rear view mirror. If your RX has the optional digital rear view mirror, you'll see a camera mounted here against the glass of the rear window. For more tips about the digital rear view mirror, make sure to check out this Tech Tip Tuesday. Coming up from the rear view mirror, you have glasses storage and dome lights. Dome lights are operated by touch, or you can use the door mode feature. When you've turned on door mode, you'll see a green light above the word door on the button. Then when you open a door, the dome lights will turn on automatically for you. Whether you touch the front left light or the front right light, you're actually controlling the dome lights throughout the entire vehicle, even in the second row. You also have personal lights for the driver's side and the passenger side. You also have controls for the moonroof. Press the button to open the moonroof and you will also power open the shade. When you push to close, it's going to close the glass, but the shade will be closed manually. You can also adjust the amount of open or close by doing a quick press and release. And then it will just open in small increments. Or press to open and then press to stop in the position that you prefer. A slightly longer press will fully open or fully close. And then manually close the shade. Press to tilt and open the back of the moonroof just to get some fresh air, or press to close. The Safety Connect or SOS button is located behind this door. So if you need to press the button, make sure to first open the door. Safety Connect is one of the connected services that is available with every new Lexus vehicle, and you will have a complimentary trial period. Make sure that you have accepted the terms for your Safety Connect when you set up your Lexus driver profile and add your Lexus to your Lexus app garage. Coming back down the center console, we're going to skip our main display and the remainder of our Lexus interface for now. Don't panic, it's all covered in part 2. If you'd like to skip over to part 2, the link is located in the description below this video. But let's move down to our hazard lights and our features on our lower center console. Hazard lights are located in the center of the air conditioning vents. Controls for opening and closing the vents are located just on the sides. You can also raise or lower and move left or right on the driver's side and the passenger side. Coming down, you'll see 2 USB-C ports for charging, a small storage cubby, and coming down just below, if the door to your storage and charging area is open, you'll see an additional USB-C port for charging and a USB-A port for charging and tethered Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. That's why you see that data symbol. That means if you'd like to plug in to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can do so. And we have our additional optional wireless charger. You do have to have a phone that's compatible for wireless charging. You'll see an amber colored light when the pad is actively charging your phone. It's also common that it will charge for a period of time and then stop charging, and then it will start charging again automatically. So if you see that your phone is not continuously being charged, not to worry. It does seem to like to not overcharge the battery on our cell phones, so just be aware of that. When charging has stopped, you may also see a drop-down notification in the top right-hand corner letting you know that charging has stopped. You'll notice the Qi icon turn gray, and when charging begins again, the Qi icon will turn blue. If you remove your phone, you'll see that it's automatically turned on when you turn on the vehicle. You'll see that green light and a nice deep storage area here. Just press the tray to slide it closed. But as an important tip, depending on where you live, if it's extremely cold or extremely hot, make sure that you take your phone with you when you exit your vehicle, just to help protect your phone and phone battery. Then you can close the tray when you're all done. The front cup holder pushes down for taller cups, and just press where it says push to raise it back up. Let's talk about our new electronic shifter. First and foremost, we see P for park. Anytime you want to shift, we're going to follow the arrows, so we're always going to shift left first. Just apply the brake, left and up for reverse, left and down for drive. If you'd like to use the paddle shifters from drive, you'll just pull the shifter straight back. And then you'll be in the manual mode. Now you can use the paddle shifters to shift up on the right and down with the left paddle shifter. And it looks like they are clickable up high, but just slide your hand down so that you can stay in the 3 and 9 best driving position. Just use your fingers to click on the paddle. To come back to drive from manual mode, just shift left and down, and then you'll be back in drive for automatic shifting. If you want to shift the vehicle into neutral, you'll see that the arrow points to the left, indicating that we need to shift to the left. But Did you hear those 2 beeps? You also have a message on your multi-information display telling you you need to hold the shifter in the neutral position. So not for long, just about a second or 2, and then you'll see the N for neutral light up in green. This is really helpful if you're going through a car wash that requires the car to be in neutral. When you're ready to, for example, exit the car wash and you'd like to put the vehicle back into drive, reapply the brake, then just shift to drive like normal, left and down. You'll hear the tone. You'll see D for drive light up in blue, letting you know you're ready to drive. When you've come to a stop and you're ready to exit the vehicle, press P for park. Coming down to the brake hold feature, the brake hold will hold your foot brake for you when it's turned on and you've come to a complete stop. You can press the button and turn the feature on from park, but to use it, you need to be in drive. You'll see the brake hold icon in green on your dash, letting you know that the feature is turned on. If you push the button again and the icon turns off, the feature is off. Press your brake hold button, apply the brake, shift into drive. Now you'll see the word hold in gold. That means the vehicle is ready to hold the foot brake for you. So you can go ahead and remove your foot from the foot brake. And here we are, staying in place. Brake hold feature in action. When you're ready to go, just accelerate. Hold in gold will turn off. The vehicle will move, come to a complete stop. Hold in gold. It's ready to hold the foot brake for you. So cool. It will time out, so if you get a message telling you that you need to take over the brake, make sure to do so. Now let's talk about your emergency parking brake. It's an electronic parking brake with an auto feature. That means when you press P to go to park, your emergency parking brake will be turned on for you automatically. You'll see the word park light up on your dash. If you would like to turn the auto feature off and you want to be in charge of your parking brake, apply the foot brake, push down on the emergency parking brake button, push and hold. You'll hear some tones and you'll have a message that the electronic parking brake shift interlock function has been disabled. All that means is you've turned off the automatic mode for the emergency parking brake. If you try to turn off the emergency parking brake without applying the foot brake first, this is what you see. Parking brake unable to disengage, press brake and push parking brake switch to release. All that means is apply the foot brake and then push the button down one time to turn off the emergency parking brake. And you can turn that back on. To manually turn on the parking brake, just lift up and you'll see the word park light up on the screen. Lift up and hold to turn auto mode back on. And you'll see electronic parking brake shift interlock function activated, or auto mode for the parking brake. If you're in gear and you forget to shift into park before you turn off the vehicle, your Lexus RX will shift into park for you. When you press stop to turn the vehicle off, your emergency parking brake will be automatically applied. But as a best practice, it's always a good idea to just press P to apply the parking brake or emergency brake before turning off your Lexus. Coming over to our traction control button, if you push that button, you'll see the message traction control turned off on the multi-information display. The message is hard to miss. If traction control is turned off, you will have a big message on screen. Traction control turned off. Push again. When you don't see the message, traction control is turned on. And coming to our auto stop start feature. This is a new feature that is coming on lots of different manufacturer all gas vehicles. Lexus is the same. If you want to disable this feature, you must disable it with every drive cycle. So don't hate me now, but that means that when you turn the vehicle on, if you want to turn off this system, you must push the button to turn it off with each drive. When it is turned off, you will see the auto start stop off icon But if you're on a drive and you come to a stop, it could be at a stop sign or a red light, if it is possible for the gas engine to cycle off and still support all of the features that you have operating on your RX, especially climate control. If it can cycle the engine off, it will do so. But if it cannot cycle off, it won't. There are some messages about the operation of the auto engine start-stop feature that you may see. We have the message to press brake more to activate, letting you know that if you press the brake harder, then it will engage. You'll have an indicator on the dash letting you know that the auto start-stop feature has engaged. You'll also feel that the engine has turned off. But I will tell you, many people do get used to it very quickly. But if you want to disable the feature, you can. You just have to do it for each drive cycle. The layout for the buttons down on the lower center console for hybrid models or all-wheel drive vehicles will just be a little bit different. You have a trail mode available for light off-roading. Just press the button to turn the feature on. You'll see a light on the dash with the same icon in green, letting you know that the feature is active. Press again to turn it off. When you're using trail mode, proactive driving assist will automatically turn off. When you turn trail mode off, if you've had proactive driving assist on, it will turn itself back on automatically. All-wheel drive RXs can include downhill assist control, and you'll also see that button located on the lower console area. Just press the DAC button to turn the feature on or off. When it's on, you'll also see the icon light up on the dash, just letting you know that it's active. Downhill assist control does operate under 18 miles an hour. The whole goal of downhill assist control is to reduce driver fatigue and to prevent excessive speed on steep downhill slopes. The RX 350 Hybrid includes an EV mode button. When you press the EV mode button, you might see EV mode unavailable, hybrid battery low. Don't panic. It just means that as you drive and you do more regenerative braking, your hybrid battery will build more of a state of charge. Then, if you choose to use EV mode, it will be available. This is really more about controlling emissions in certain areas with very strict emission standards. It actually will not usually improve your fuel economy, so be aware of that. So if you are selecting EV mode, but you're not seeing the fuel economy that you want, let the vehicle change from one power source to another automatically. And it's going to be the most efficient way that you can operate your hybrid vehicle. And even though the RX 500H is a hybrid, it's a performance-focused hybrid, so you won't see an EV mode button on that particular model. The powertrain on the RX 500H is going to choose the most appropriate mode automatically for your best overall performance and drive feel. And coming down to our armrest, you can open it from either side. It is dual hinged. And it's got a nice lined storage area. There aren't any charging ports inside the armrest now. They are all located at the front or back of the console. You'll also use the mechanical key to lock or unlock the glove compartment. Just push on the tab to release the metal key from the key fob. When the lock cylinder shows perpendicular to the ground, that means the glove compartment is locked. You'll insert the key and turn it to the left to unlock. Just do the opposite to lock the glove compartment. You'll slide the mechanical key in flat and turn to the right. Then the glove box is locked again. This is a great way to secure items in your glove compartment, especially if you're going to valet park your vehicle. You can take the mechanical key with you and give the key fob to the valet. They'll be able to lock, unlock, and operate the vehicle, but without that mechanical key, they won't have access to your glove box. Make sure to restore the mechanical key to the key fob. Just insert the metal key back into the key fob housing, snap it into place, and you're all set. Let's take a quick look at some other details that are specific to RX hybrid models. When you scroll through the information screens on the multi-information display, you can select the energy monitor if you would like to have a summary screen for energy consumption and even regenerative braking. You'll be able to monitor the system right on screen. You can also pull that up under vehicle settings and energy flow. Keep in mind, this is just a summary screen of what's happening with the powertrain on the vehicle. You'll be able to see if the gasoline engine needs to come on, maybe because you are wanting to have your climate control really kick in. It's going to continually cycle the gasoline engine off and back on as needed. You'll see when the gasoline engine turns on and that it's sending power to the hybrid battery. When the vehicle's in motion, you can see that the full system is powering those wheels. You'll also be able to see when you're doing regenerative braking or power's being distributed to the front and rear wheels on this all-wheel drive vehicle. On the image, power is being stored or sent toward the hybrid battery. The orange color represents power being used from the system. It is pretty awesome to look at, but we want to make sure that your eyes are on the road and that you're driving safely. Lexus hybrid vehicles are known for being very quiet on the road, and it is normal when reversing or even moving forward at low speeds, when you're in all-electric power, to have an audible sound that's kind of a humming sound coming from the vehicle. It is actually a pedestrian alert safety system to make other people more aware of your presence. The gasoline engine isn't on at all times. So if you drive a hybrid and you hear kind of a humming sound at low speeds, that is totally normal, and that is there for your safety and the safety of others. On hybrid models, below the back seats on the outside corners, you'll see vents. These vents are there to help cool the hybrid battery. So make sure that they don't get blocked, especially if you're on a long road trip with pillows and sleeping bags. You want to make sure these don't get blocked. It's also okay to vacuum these vents when you're cleaning your vehicle, but don't spray liquid directly into them in order to protect the hybrid battery. And checking that vent is part of regular hybrid maintenance. Thank you so much for stopping by the Lexus Virtual Classroom to check out part 1 in our series all about the new Lexus RX. The link is in the description below for part 2, so you can take a break or jump right into part 2 and keep on learning. Thanks again for joining me today at the Lexus Virtual Classroom. We'll see you next time.